let me up with a bright smile on now. Put me in the dark, so won't get lost now.
Our client is one of the world's largest renal care providers, delivering dialysis and associated renal services from several centres in the UK. They're looking for brilliant nurses who are fully focused on patient care and would appreciate working with great schedules, no Sundays, and excellent staff-patient ratios. If that sounds like you and you'd like to learn more, click the link below for an info pack. Or give us a call today on 0203 637 6445. That's 0203 637 6445 today.
Hello, Manong George here. Welcome to our channel. And today we have a very special guest.
Hi, my name is Carl.
Manong knows best.
I came here July 2021, so going 2 years ngayong July. Not that long yet. I live border ng zone, I think zone 4 and 5. Pero I started yung entry ko dito sa UK. I was living in zone, I think zone 3. Zone 3 pa yung part ko ng Northwest. So,
Manong knows best.
zone, I think zone 2 pa yung hospital. I'm not exactly sure. Zone 2 or 3. Since lumipat na ako ng place, kasi before I just walked to the hospital, but now I live around 30 minutes away. That includes the walk from the flat to the train station, and then the actual travel time ng tube, and then another few minutes of walk to the hospital. So not that far.
30 minutes?
Yeah, about 30 minutes. Even shorter, actually, the actual tube ride is just 12 minutes away. So yung lakad lang talaga, and like waiting if you miss the train you're trying to catch. If it's during the rush hour, I think the current is about 2-ish pounds. 2 pounds and a few pence. Pero pag off-peak, it's 1.8 if I'm not mistaken.
Manong knows best.
Well, when I was still staying in the accommodations, that was 700, almost 800 pounds. That includes utilities, except the internet and the council tax. But you share it with 4 other people. I mean, 3 other people, making us 4 in the flat. And now, the flat is about 1,300. I'm sharing it with 1 other person, so that gives me 650 a month. Plus, the utilities. Parang all in all, it would reach about, on average, 800 pounds. Well, excluding the transportation, obviously, but a little bit more expensive, but I get more privacy.
Manong knows best.
That actually helps us a lot, kaming mga nasa London. I think it depends on which zone you are in, but that you get that on top. Kaya nga, when it comes to deciding, that is also something you factor in kung mag-London ka ba or sa labas. Kasi kahit even medyo mas mataas ang cost of living sa London, you get an added certain amount yung ang living allowance sa London. But then again, it's still much more economically sound kung talagang pag-ipon ang goal mo to go to the countryside. The annual is, well, I'm still a band 5. I think it adjusts per band. But right now, I'm almost 2 years in. It's per annum, it's about 5,000 and 5,200, I think, per annum. So it helps.
Manong knows best.
Well, you're right. I think for those who are living in the UK, it's quite a well-known fact. It's more expensive to live in London itself. Kasi nga, di ba, parang a one-bed flat in London is already like 2 or 3 bedroom apartments somewhere outside London. But for me, I think it's highly personal why I like to live in London more. Kasi I grew up living in a city, so there's that comfort that things are more accessible, more within your reach. Na either you just walk to a store or a very short bus or tube ride. Everything's around you. Not unlike if you go to the countryside, if you're not really close to the high streets or the commercial centers, you really have to go a long way. So for me, that does not work. Mas prefer ko yung layout ng major city. And also, I personally don't like to drive. So a commuter city like London really suits me well. Yeah, I think those are 2 primary reasons. And I think the third one is that a lot of my peers, my support group are in London as well, which heavily influenced my decision to go to London instead of the other areas around the UK.
Manong knows best.
London is very much a melting pot of cultures. So when it comes to that, you'll really get the opportunity to work with different nationalities, and makikita mo na there are differences with the work ethics of, let's say, Filipinos with that of the locals. But as a whole, I believe it makes for a better working experience kasi parang kanya-kanyang best practices tayo. As Filipino nurses have something to offer to really improve the workplace, and the same is true with the other nationalities. They're bringing certain practices from their home countries as well. So I think that is a good thing.
Manong knows best.
Well, siguro before sila tumuli sa London, they have to ask themselves first, bakit sa London sila pupunta? Is it, or what their goal is coming into the UK as a whole? Is it really to save up or nang mabilis, or is it to parang just have an upgrade from what their current earnings are in the Philippines? Kasi regardless naman kung galing ka sa Philippines, mapa-London man yung puntahan mo or other cities or areas ng UK, it's still an upgrade. But what matters to you most ba? Is it work-life balance? Is it living close to where your peers are para may support group ka? Or is it really money that parang drives you? Again, if it's really earning or saving a lot very fast, London might not be the city for you. But for those who choose to go to London, I think I'm speaking for myself. I believe there is more work-life balance here with the lifestyle that I need and want. Again, this may not be true for everybody, pero ako kasi, like London has lots of green spaces while living in a big city, and parang you still get that escape without really going outside of London. If you just want to breathe, you just want to see some nature, you also have that in London, because I think London is the city with one of the biggest green spaces anyway. So parang hindi ka naman masasuffocate sa city life. You still have those outdoors you can enjoy, as well as if you enjoy culture, there's tons and tons of museums you can visit in London. I myself, 2 years in, I haven't been to all of them, and most of them, I think at least 90% are free entry. So if you love culture and history, London has a lot to offer. And again, if you don't drive, if you cannot drive, London is a very good option as well. Yun lang. So you really have to just think about what your motivations are, and if you think you'll last in a very busy city. Kasi there are some people who don't like the siksikan in public transportation. So if you don't like experiencing that, if you're tired of rush hour madness, then London might just make you feel it's not welcoming you. So just reflect siguro.
Always remember, Manong knows.
Manong knows best, put your worries to rest when staying in the United Kingdom. Manong knows best.